For as the body is not one member, but many. If the foot says, because I am not a hand, I am not of the body, on account of this, is it not of the body? And if the ear says, because I am not an eye, I am not of the body, on account of this, is it not of the body? If all the body were an eye, where would be the hearing? If all hearing, where would be the smelling? But now Yah set the members, each one of them, in the body, even as it has pleased him. But if all was one member, where would the body be? But now indeed, many are the members, but one body. And the eye is not able to say to the hand, I have no need of you. Or again, the head to the feet, I have no need of you. But much rather, the members of the body, seeming to be weaker, are necessary. And those of the body we think to be less honorable, to these we put more abundant honor around them. And our uncomely members we dress with greater care. But our comely parts have no need for attention. But Yah tempered the body together, giving more abundant honor to the member having need, that there not be any division in the body, but that the members might have the same care for one another. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 14 through 25.
My brethren, be strong in the Most High, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand and withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High Yah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1.
We want to welcome you to another Sword of the Spirit audio teaching. Today's webinar is entitled The Spiritual Gift of Helps. We have a special treat for you today. I will, I'm not teaching today's lesson. There is a portion of the lesson that I will be coming in on at the end. But our sister Prina will be teaching today's webinar lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to her. We welcome you to our 195th audio teaching. And we greet you in the name of our master, Yeshua HaMashiach. With having said that, I'm going to bring in my co-sis and teacher for today, Prina. Shabbat Shalom, sis. How are you?
Shabbat Shalom. I'm well. How are you, sis?
Doing great, 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 great. Looking forward to the teaching. So I'm going to go ahead and let you get started.
Okay. So today, 25th. So today's 195th webinar teaching is entitled The Spiritual Gift of Helps. The spiritual gift of helps is one that is often overlooked and the least desired. Yet, it is equally important and a pivotal gift for the ministering of the body of the Messiah. So today, we will not only define the spiritual gift of helps, but also identify its key attributes and highlight the scriptural function for this least appreciated gift in the body of the Messiah. So let's begin by unwrapping the gifts. What are spiritual gifts? 1 Corinthians 12 and 11 tell us that a manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man for the common good. So what does that mean? Let's take a closer look at the following highlighted words in 1 Corinthians 12 and 7, manifestation and common good, to get a better understanding in the context of which it is written. Another version reads, a demonstration of the Spirit is given to each person to produce what is beneficial. In essence, that is which is for the common good is that which is beneficial for all. So whatever is for the common good of man, that is which is beneficial to all. And when something is beneficial, it is favorable, helpful, and useful. Now we are going to look at some synonyms in relation to manifestation in the context of 1 Corinthians 12 and 7. Thesaurus.com for manifestation means representation, and representation is the action of speaking on behalf of someone. It is also in the likeness of, as in Genesis 1:27, we are created in the likeness or the image of Yah, both male and female. Also, manifestation means mark or sign or evidence. Another key word for manifestation or synonym is revelation. Now, revelation means to make known. When something is made known, it is, or anything that is made known, it is something that has been unveiled, which is uncovered or revealed. So that which is hidden is now brought to the light. And so that is what revelation means according to the synonym.
Or made known. And I
Made
want to
known.
just jump in for a second, if I can.
Yes.
Just something that, just as you were speaking, where Sister Prina said that a revelation is something that is made known.
Yes.
And then anything that is made known, as she said, is there is an unveiling, it is a prophecy and a foreshadowing. So I want to just take your attention to prophecy. And so when we think about a prophet, so someone that the Father Yah sends, that is a messenger. Okay. And a prophet, they represent Yah before the people. They represent Yah before the people. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to give you an example. When the Father Yah, anytime he wanted to warn his people, if he wanted to give them any information, if he wanted to correct them, whatever the case may be, he would send a prophet. He would send a messenger. We saw many in the scriptures, and particularly in the original covenant, which many refer to as the Old Testament. All the prophets: Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Ezra, Nehemiah, Moses. He would always begin with "Thus says Yah."
Mhm.
And so a prophet is one who represents Yah before the people. And oftentimes you'll see in scripture, and particularly with the Messiah, when he was sending his disciples out, he told them what he wanted them to do, where he wanted them to go. And then he said, if they don't want to receive you, then he says you shake the dust off and keep it moving. We talked about this last week. And when he told them to shake the dust off and keep it moving, he said that just know that they're not rejecting you, but they're rejecting me. Why is he saying that they're rejecting him? Why? Because he is the one that made the word of Yah known to them. So he is the one who sent them. And so they are the representatives of the Messiah. When we go out and we proclaim the word of Yah, we are the representatives.
Yes.
We are going out to make known the word of Yah to all of the world, those who are of Israel and those who are not, who want to take hold to that covenant. And so, for example, if I have if Trina has two children, one is Jack and Jill, and Trina say, okay, Jack, go tell Jill that I said come here. When Jack goes and relay that message to Jill, and Jill decides she wants to ignore that message and not come here, just know that Jill is not rejecting Jack. She's rejecting her mother, because the messenger was the one that sent to deliver the message. And so anytime anything is made known, just like he did with Moses, he made his word known to the people through Moses, and Aaron went along with him. And so this is what it means to make known. When he sends his prophet, it is as if Yah himself is standing before the people. Oftentimes in scriptures in the Old Testament, or the original covenant, we saw that Moses spoke for Yah.
Yeah.
Yah spoke the word to Moses, and then Moses related to the people. Remember, Prina, when he was speaking and they said that they couldn't, they were afraid of his voice. They were like, no, you speak to us. Let Yah tell you what he needs to tell you, and then you tell us. So when he sent his prophets, who are his messengers, prophets are just people who speak the inspired word of Yah. They're given unction as via the Ruach, the set apart spirit of Yah. Even the Messiah said that when he came, he said, I didn't come to do my own will, but the will of my Father who sent me. He said, I don't speak my own words. He said, but I speak the words that that sent me. Whatever he said, my Father gives me to speak. Whatever I hear, he said, that's what I speak. So this is what we're doing. So when we come before you week after week, or anyone that has been ordained and anointed by the Father Yah to minister his word, whether it's through teaching, through prophecy, when he's sitting them, they're coming as representatives of Yah. It's as if Yah is standing before you himself. Because we don't, true prophets of Yah don't speak their own words and say what are their own thoughts, but they speak only that which they hear from the Father Yah through his Ruach HaKodesh, through his set apart spirit. So I just wanted to make that kind of clear. I know this is not my teaching, but when she brought up that definition of made known, I asked for her permission to be able to bring this out. Again, prophets, they represent Yah before the people. That's why when Ezekiel and Jeremiah and the rest, Isaiah, when they came, they didn't say, well, I did this and I tell you to do. They said, thus says Yah. Even Paul made that disparity. When it was him speaking and when it was Yah, he said, this is Yah, not I. And then he made it known. So we have to know that and not be offended when Yah is sending his prophets, his messengers to us, because you need to be looking at it as this is someone who is the representation of Yah before me.
Yes.
This is as Yah himself is coming before me. He has sent this person. If I have a son, if I send my son to go tell someone something, he's representing me. He's going out there to tell them what I have said. So we have to look at this within the body and I say, well, who does she think she is coming to me? Who does he think he is? If they have been called and y'all gave them that message and you rejected it, that's why he says, what, Ezekiel 3 and Ezekiel 33, that your blood is going to be on your hands if you don't warn them. Look, he said, if you warn them, and the sword come in, they don't want to listen, then the blood is going to be on their own hands. That's going to be on them. He says, but if you see the sword coming and you fail to warn the people, look, he said, I said, thus says Yah. Tell them that this is what Yah has said. So when you go tell what Yah has said, just like with the Messiah, he went and told us and made known. He says, I have made your word known to them. I have made your name known. I have revealed your name. He's not talking about I revealed how to pronounce your name. Yes, he probably did, but he was more so, I revealed your name, everything that your name means, just like he told Moses. When Moses said, I want to, he said, reveal your glory to me, he passed by him. And Yah said, he called out his own name, Yah, gracious, merciful, slow to anger, truth. He started calling out all the attributes that his name represents. So I want us to remember that the next time Yah sends a true prophet, I'm not talking about no wolf in sheep clothing. I'm talking about a true prophet, somebody who seeks to live a righteous life and have a sincere heart towards Yah. When they're coming to you saying something, don't get offended. You look at them as if this is Yah himself standing before me, because if Yah sent this person, I need to tend my ear and lend my ear to see what they're saying. So I just want to
praise Yah, sis. That was good. Okay, so we're going to look at some more synonyms in regards to manifestation. Strong Hebrews 8544 for manifestation means fashioned out. So when something is fashioned out, it is molded, it's being shaped. And a scripture that came to mind is Isaiah 64:8, where where Yah is the potter and we are the clay. And so he is, with the work of his hand, he is molding and shaping his people in the likeness or the image of him. Also, from an earthly standpoint, fashion, when something is fashioned, or especially in our generation, our youth, with the trends that's going on all the time, changing here and there. But fashion, the society right now is fashioning our young men and shaping their minds to
be effeminate.
To
dress effeminate,
like a woman. Skinny jeans and jeans
wearing their pants along with their behind out.
With Jada Pickett's son, Jaden, wearing skirts, and
he has a lot of influence
dresses. They have football stars that I saw on one of my Facebook page wearing dresses. So when fashion means to shape, to mold, and so that's it for as far as manifestation in regards to.
And it's shaping the mind.
Yes.
It's more so than anything, because when you're wearing fashion and everyone is catching on, that is caught on in the mind.
Yes.
And it's used here figuratively.
Yes.
Like,
Thy hands have made and fashioned me, and give me understanding that I may learn thy commandments. So we see here that Yah is continuing to fashion us, meaning to mold us and to give us understanding through the Ruach, understanding of his commandments, his statutes, and judgments. For you formed me in the inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So we're going to continue with manifestation that we learned early on in the context of 1 Corinthians 12 and 7. The blue letter Bible for manifestation by extension means bestowment. Bestowment, according to thesaurus.com, means bestowal or gift, present, endowment, that's an inheritance. Also, what stood out is favor. So favor is approval or consideration. And then offering, which is another term for gift.
And then looking at Romans 8 and 19.
And looking at Romans 8 and 19, we see here that all the creation is eager to witness or the revealing of the sons of Yah. So they're waiting eagerly for our return, as stated in throughout Scripture. You know, they're waiting on our return. The earth is crying out for our return.
The manifestation.
Yes, manifestation. Yes. Okay, so
I'm sorry, your phone is breaking up really bad.
I don't know if it's my internet. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Okay. So we're recapping 1 Corinthians 12 and 7, which reads, the manifestation or the evidence of the Spirit is given to every man for that which is beneficial. So as we see in Romans 8 and 14, those that are led by the Spirit of Yah are the sons of Yah. And this is evident when with the producing or bearing of fruit. We know that good fruit can't bear evil fruit, and evil fruit can't bear good fruit. Also, we can determine or see fruits that are borne by the Spirit. We know that the works of the flesh is no way that you can bear fruit from the works of the flesh because it's corrupt. According to Galatians, the works of the flesh are adultery, lust, pride, hatred, and so forth, versus the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, patience, self-control, meekness. With those spirits, with the fruit of the spirits, they are always bearing good fruit, is bringing a return. So, what is beneficial? We're going to take a look at beneficial in the context of 1 Corinthians 1 Corinthians 12 and 7. So the manifestation, which is the evidence or the testimony or the witness of the Spirit, is given to every man that which is beneficial. So what is beneficial? So according to Blue Letter Bible, beneficial is something that is profitable. That means it's going to have gain. It's going to bear fruit. It's going to have a return or an increase. Beneficial also means useful or helpful, and also it means to contribute for the common good, as we learned earlier in 1 Corinthians 12 and 7. Another synonym for beneficial, according to Strong Hebrews 6743, profitable means to prosper or be prosperous. Joshua 1 and 8 states that if you meditate day and night on Yah's word and do not depart from his law, then and keep his commandments, then you are considered prosperous. You are considered successful. That is the biblical definition. That is the biblical definition.
So again, yeah, because your phone is breaking up again. So Yeah, it's something going on with the internet connection, but but it's just saying again that, like she said, that the
This is
book.
my laptop, so it might be my internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. So Joshua 1:8. Again, as I stated, if you keep the commandments, then you are prosperous or successful. According to thesaurus.com, prosper means to gain, to bear fruit. And when you are bearing fruit, you are producing a gain. Remember, we said that those that are led by the Spirit of Yah are the sons of Yah. And if you are the son of Yah, you are bearing fruit. Prosper also means to make mark. Right now, we are currently making our mark. We're working out our salvation in fear and trembling. We're staying on the narrow road. And so when you're doing that and you're enduring to the end, you are making a mark towards salvation. Benefit is another synonym for prosper.
Yeah, and prosper. If I may,
Yes.
prosper is, to prosper does not mean what you're being taught. It means in a Christian church where naming and claiming and blabbing and grabbing. This is not you pay your way into the kingdom.
Yes.
Okay, through your tithes. You're not Yah does not care about how much money you have if you're still walking in disobedience. And so, as she said, those are being led by the Spirit of Yah are the sons of Yah, and those who are the sons of Yah, they are bearing fruit. If you are, so that's what it means to prosper. To prosper actually means to bear fruit. That's what you can only bear fruit if you exhibit the fruits of the Spirit, and you can only exhibit the fruits of the Spirit if you have the set apart Spirit in you. Because when you do, like he says, there is evidence. That's what manifestation means. There's evidence of the Spirit. Okay, there's evidence that you are that you do have the set apart Spirit of Yah by the fruits that you bear. And he says you will, by their fruits you will know them. Look at their fruits. If it's rotten fruit and it's exhibiting the works of the flesh, and they don't have the set apart Spirit of Yah. They're not being led by his Spirit. And if you're not being led by his Spirit, you don't belong to him. You're not his son. And this is a very hard part of the word that many people do not understand.
Yes.
And so prosper again means to bear fruit.
Okay, so we're going to get into the variety of gifts that we have in the body of the Messiah. 1 Corinthians 12, verses 4 through 6 tell us that there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Yah. There are different kinds of workings, healing, helps,
miracles,
powers, and miracles. But in all of them and in everyone is the same Yah at work. So we know in the beginning, Shaitan introduced us with there are many members in the body of the Messiah. However, there are different gifts that are given to different members of the body, and it's for the working of the ministry, so that one gift, nobody has the one gift, and so that they can all service the body of Yah, and it's all given by Yah himself and by the same Spirit. So it's no separation, nothing different. We just have different gifts, but the same Spirit is the one. The Ruach HaKodesh is the one that's distributing them on the behalf of Yah. Another version reads, and there are diversities of operations, but it is the same Yah which are work all in all. Another version reads, Yah works in different ways, but it is the same Yah who does the work in all of us. So again, I love how this reads. We all have different ways or different gifts, but the same Yah is the one that's doing the work, that's ministering our gifts according to our abilities. So what are the variety of gifts that are given by Yah? First Corinthians 12 and 28 reads, and Yah placed some in the congregation, firstly apostles, secondly prophets, thirdly teachers, then works of power, then gifts of healing, helps, leaders, and speakers of different tongues. So we see right here that these are the variety of gifts that the Most High give to the members of the body of the Messiah. So let's begin by looking at some precepts to 1 Corinthians 12 and 28. 1 Corinthians 12:18 states, but in fact, Yah has arranged the member of the body, every one of them, according to his design. And so if you remember the synonym for manifestation, when we talked about fashioned, this is where he is fashioning us, where he's molding, he's shaping, he's forming, he's creating. This is in regards to his design. 1 Corinthians 7 and 7 tell us that I wish that all men were as I am. So Paul is speaking here. He was saying, I wish you all had the same gift as I have. But each man has his own gift from Yah. One have this gift and one has that gift. Romans 12 and 6. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy according to with your faith. So what this is saying is whatever gift that the Most High Yah has given to you by his grace, meaning his favor, his consideration, his approval, then operate in it. We can't be worried about what other people's gifts are. Well, because you want to be a pastor and you want to be a teacher. I don't want to be in helps. Because that's the least.
Yeah, that's the least desirable gift.
Yes. Walk in the gift that Yah has given you. Be grateful of that. Because you couldn't have anything,
Yeah, because some people say, oh, well, and I'm going to, like that whole thing, people say, well, the scriptures tell us that we to covet the better gifts, but I'm going to explain what that means later. There's a misinterpretation of scripture with that one. But, we have to, like she said, walk in whatever the gift it is that he's given to us, whatever he has anointed and
yes, ordained
for us to do, and stop trying to do what somebody else is doing and coveting somebody else's gift. They do it well because he's ordained them. And if whatever he has ordained you to do, he's anointed you to do. Whatever he's anointed you to do, he's giving you the capability. So if I don't have that capability, I'm over there trying to do something that he called me to do, it's not going to come out the same.
Yes.
So let's stop coveting others' gifts and do what he's called you to do.
So now we are going to look at the purpose of the spiritual gifts. 1 Peter 4 and 10. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of Yah's very grace. So we see here again that it is saying that everybody in each member of the body of Messiah have received a gift. Now you are to use it to aid or help one another as good stewards of Yah, of very grace. That means different, because he goes by your capabilities, your what he think or know that you can handle, or how you can support the ministry,
or whatever it is he's given to you, because he gives everyone different talents.
Yes. Now the purpose of the gifts is to edify, which means to build up. Exhort means to encourage, and comfort, to console the members of the body of the Messiah. So in Ephesians 4:11 and 12, we see here that there are gifts of apostles, prophets, evangelists, teachers, pastors, for the perfecting of the saints, and for the work of the ministry to edify. That means to build up the body of the Messiah.
Yep. So this is the purpose.
Yes, this is the purpose. Continuing with the purpose of the gifts. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another, build up one another, just as you are doing. So we see here again another precept to the purpose that we are to encourage and build up one another. Romans 12:15. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Again, we are now seeing that the gift of comfort, when you're comforting, you consoling, or you encouraging, we are all supposed to use our gift as he intended. Remember, there's pastors, there are apostles, there are teachers. They are to build up. Then we have the helps and the miracles, working of miracles. Then they are to whether to encourage or to rejoice or weep, or to console. We have different gifts for different members of the body of the Messiah, but it's all to service and to one another.
Yeah.
It is all, as 1 Peter 4:10 said, it's because we are to service one another with the gifts that we are given. You know.
And within that, I wanted to say also with exhorting, that also means to urge, to warn.
Yes.
As well, because and correct. Because I think we want to leave that part out. Well, I just want you to encourage me, but I don't want the correction.
Yes, you're right, sis. You're right.
We have to get past that.
Yes.
Because, as I said, the prophet stands before the people as Yah. They're Yah's representation. They represent Yah before the people. And so when they have a prophet or a messenger that's coming before you, and even a teacher, okay, because teachers are speaking the inspired word of Yah as well. Yeah. But when they come to you with that message, again, they represent Yah before the people. So we have to make sure that, it's the different services are for different functions within the body, but all of them are necessary. Just as a parent, I encourage my child, but then there's time when I have to exhort, when I have to warn, when I have to correct him and discipline him, but it's all for the same purpose. Yeah. I'm trying to build up the spiritual, that which is of Yah in him. Yes. Yes, that was good. So I just wanted to just bring that to this camera.
No, that was good. On time. Thank you, sis. Okay, so we have been waiting on the spiritual gift of helps. And so now we are getting ready to define what the spiritual gift of helps is. According to 1 Corinthians 12:28, again, Yah had placed some in the congregation, firstly, apostles, secondly, prophets, thirdly, teachers, then works of power, then gifts of healing, helps, leaders, and speakers of diverse tongues. And so we're going to take our attention to focus on the highlighted word of helps. Synonyms for help, according to Strong Hebrew, is 2388. Helps mean help, repair. When something is, when I think of repair, I think of something that is broken that needs to be fixed. Aid, that means to assist. Strong Hebrews 3:467 for helps means to free, to succor, means to rescue or save, to recover. And so when we look at succor, we know that Yeshua came to save Yah's people. That is what secure means, to rescue, to save.
Mm-hmm.
Also, helps means to defend or preserve, means to maintain or safeguard or protect. So when you maintaining, you just keeping it as it is. You maintaining the body, you managing.
And though I wanted to bring in, whereas we were speaking about Yeshua, as far as him being the coming to rescue, and actually he performed, as Priya said, he performed the gifts of helps.
Yes, he
He
did.
had that in him, because when he came here, he said, I was sent not except for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came to help us. He came to free us. He came to free us from the bondage of sin and death. He came to recover those people that were lost. He came to rescue us. That's why he is the Savior, Yah salvation, or the salvation of Yah. And then I want to also just think about, like, when we did the Tabernacle of Yah teachings, that was like a series of teachings.
Yes.
Within the tabernacle itself, you have the outer court, and you have the inner court, and you have the holies of holies. When you think about the tabernacle itself, and the Levites who had the charge, they had jobs.
Yeah.
They had things that they had to do to help. So they acted in the offices of helps as well, because they maintained that tabernacle. There were things that had to be done to keep that tabernacle functioning, because again, this is not the heavenly tabernacle, but the earthly tabernacle. So there were things that had to be done. And then also with where it says helps also means to preserve, which means to maintain, to safeguard, and to protect. We also do that when we are guarding the word of Yah, when we're protected. Think about Nehemiah and Ezra. Think about when he was guarding the Sabbath, when they wanted to come and buy and sell on the Sabbath, and he said, look, I'm gonna put hands on you. He was guarding. He was
even Yeshua. Yes, Yeshua, when he said he was going to turn over those tables.
Oh yes, buying and selling on the Sabbath, and and I'm going to be talking about that next week. I'm just throwing that in on how weird many of us are honoring. Even I'm talking about those who are in the faith, who are awakened. Many of us, there's a lot of things that are going on where many of us are dishonoring the Sabbath. We're not honoring the Sabbath and remembering it and doing exactly like he says. So I'm going to be talking about that. I was led to talk about that. That'll probably be next week's teaching, is how do we correctly honor the Sabbath. So there's going to be some testimonies. I'm going to share my testimony, and I'm going to share some things that I have noticed within the body itself that's going on, and there's no way that you're honoring the Sabbath doing these things. So we're going to clear up on how do we truly, we've done a teaching on the Sabbath, but I want to clear up as far as what or should we be doing, what are things that should be completely off limits on the Sabbath. And so this is, this was a teaching that just as of today, do for next week. So just.
Okay, so let's learn some attributes of helps. Compassion. Compassion is just deep feelings or sympathy, having sympathy or concern for others.
And empathy too.
Yes, and empathy for others. The antonym for compassion is coldness or heartless. Personable. When you're personable, you're approachable, you're relatable. And an antonym for personable would be unpleasant or nasty. Loyalty means faithfulness, trustworthy, you're dependable. An antonym for loyalty would be disloyal or deceitful. Humility, you are humble, you are meek, you lack pride. And when you are, the antonym for humility is arrogance or conceit or vain. Respectfulness. When you're showing respectfulness, you are courteous. You regard other people's feelings. The opposite is discourteous, and rude. Thoughtful. When you are thoughtful, you are not only considerate, but you are reflectful and prayerful. For integrity, you are honest, you're upright, you're genuine. And oftentimes people don't like this part of being integrity, but you're frank. You
Yes.
tell them the truth.
Yes.
You bring the truth to them whether they like it or not. And the opposite of integrity, when I was looking this up, is iniquity, sin, evil, wickedness, immoral.
Something that I wanted to, just before we go to the other final attributes that helps, just looking at selflessness.
Yes.
And selflessness, it means you put others before yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I missed that one, sis.
Something that I wanted to talk about was from my, if you have not checked it out, I'm plugging this in. My new channel is called Yas Talk channel. Okay, Yah Talk channel, and it's that is the name of the channel. It's a parent channel of the Sword of the Spirit, but you won't find it under our teachings on the Daughter of Yah. You will have to go to the Yah Talks channel, YAHTALKS channel. And on that channel, our first teaching is entitled, well, it's not a teaching, it's you go to it, the first, it's like mini teachings, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. The first one is entitled, What About Your Friends? And in this one, we learn what the true definition of a friend. And this teaching actually, I mean, it really, really did bless me.
It blessed me as well, yes.
And learning what a friend really is. And the father, well, not the father, but Yeshua said that there's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for his friend. So in order for you to lay down your life for your friend, you have to put that person before your own life. Yeah. And that's what he's even requiring from us as servants, is that we will not love our life to death. If we have to die for this truth, then we're willing to die for it. We're willing to put the faith before our own lives. He says, if you love your mother, father, sister, brother, anyone before him, you're not worthy of being in the kingdom. And even Yeshua himself, he showed that through his perfect example of selflessness when he died on the tree. Why? He said because of the joy that was set before him, he remained on that tree.
Yes.
He knew what was going to come as a result of him being selflessness, of him loving us as his friends. Because he says, if you do what I command you, then you are my friend. He gave up his life. Just as he said, there's no greater love. There's nothing greater than laying down your life for your friend. Okay, and he did that himself for us. He put us before himself. And so I just wanted to just relay that as an example.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I skipped that one. But I didn't, you know how you see something and then you overlook it by mistake. But yes, selflessness means that you are more concerned with other needs than yourself.
Yes.
The antonym to that is self-centeredness, you know, being arrogant or prideful.
Selfish.
Yes, selfish. Honesty. Honesty is having integrity. You're honest. You're frank. You're not only you're faithful and trustworthy as well. Generous. Generous is being giving of oneself. Just like selflessness, you are concerned more than what the needs of your needs. You're more concerned with the needs of the people. So what is the role of help? So as I was putting this teaching together, and Sister Shatan brought this to my attention, that she believed that I have the gift of help. And as I was meditating on that, and this is just my testimony, I always felt like I had the gift of help, because I was always, and I'm always still, putting myself, and I think you could attest to this, Shatan, to the needs, with the concerns of the needs of others.
Yes. Yes.
I always, myself is always last, you know,
Yes.
and so I can truly attest that I put the concerns of others before me, and
Even to a fault.
yes, and sometimes to a fault. Yes, I can honestly say that. But I'm learning now
And
how.
that's okay as long as we're not putting people before Yah.
Yes, and sinning against the Most High when He has told you to do something other than what He told you. But as we learned in the beginning, that this is the role of helps is like the least desired. Is not even on the coveted list. You know, is least appreciated.
That's what I read about in the big. That's why I read that in the beginning. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Remember?
Yes.
He had said that. Can I read that just one more time?
Yes, you sure can.
1 Corinthians chapter 12. And I'm going to begin at verse 22. It says, but much rather the members of the body seeming to be weaker are necessary. So those members of the body that we would consider to be the weaker are the ones that he says are necessary. He said those are the body we think to be less honorable, where most people wouldn't say, oh, I don't want the gift of helps. Oh, I want to be a prophet. Oh, I want to be a teacher. I want to be the pastor. You know, you want the most desirable. I want to be able to speak in tongues. But he says that the one that you consider to be the least honorable in the body, he says, this is the gift, and these are the members that you need to give more honor.
Yes.
So you're looking at this with 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 22 and 23. He said, those are the body we think to be less honorable. To these, we should put more abundant honor around them. You know, he says, to the uncomely members we dress, he says, with greater care. But our comely parts have no need for attention, but Yah tempered the body together, giving more abundant honor to the members that have a need. So he's giving more honor to that and those that have a more need. So if anybody, like he says, because you consider yourself to be so religious that you will look out for the widows and the fatherless. Those that do not have children, who do not have fathers, because if you don't have a father in the home, that's the backbone. That's leaders. That's like you walking around with the head. With no head. You walking headless. What's going to happen if you don't have no head on your body? You have no direction. You don't know where you're going. And so what is the world trying to do? They're trying to remove our heads.
Yes, they are.
Israel, our leaders. They want us to walk around and not know where we're going without direction. It is the reason why we are suffering these curses and why we as a people don't know who we are, because our heads have gone astray. The head, he said the whole head is sick. He said the whole body, the whole body of Israel is sick. But our head, our men, you have dropped the ball. Drop the ball. And just like you want to do with Adam and Eve, you want to blame the woman. Oh, well, this woman that you gave to me. That's why Yah called Adam. He didn't call Eve. When he went down in the garden, he didn't say, Eve, where are you? He said, Adam, where are you? Wherefore are you? So it's time for our men to get back in their roles. And women, for us, stop trying to be the man.
Independent.
Yes. If you marry, you are not independent. We are all interdependent. We're interdependent because we all need each other. We all need each other, as Prina is getting ready to show you through scripture. I'm not going to say it, but we all need each other. The men, you need the women, and women, we need the men. Stop trying, men. Stop being so intimidated by women that know how to teach this word. Stop being intimidated by women who know the word. Who have the same gifts. He didn't just give the gifts of pastor or teaching or to just men only. That member that you Prina read in and say, I just give pastoring and teaching to men only. This is the many members, but one body. We all need each other. That's why I started off this this webinar teaching, reading 1 Corinthians chapter 12. If the hand, he says, say, I don't need that nose, you know, we can't say that. What if the eye say, I don't need the hearing?
Yeah.
You gonna be walking around, just can't hear nothing. You hear from him. So we all, the blind can't lead the blind. Well, I want to be the hearing, but you don't want to have no eyes. Okay, well, the blind lead the blind, and you both fall in the ditch.
Yes.
It's necessary for us to have our hearing and
Mhm.
our eyes and our nose. We need our hands. We are all many members of one body. We, in this community, the household of Israel, those who awaken, many of our men, you have oppressed the women. You don't want them to learn the truth, know the truth. You want them to sit in the corner, talking about, I suffer a woman not to teach and not to speak and not to preach his word, not to minister his word to anyone. Don't share this truth with anyone except unless you talking to a woman. All taking scripture all out of context.
Yes.
Having no understanding of what is being said. But I'm getting ready to get off into something else, but I just had to say that.
Okay, no, sis,
We
you're
need
good.
each other.
So again, you know, the role of helps is there behind the scene, but it's all for serving others. Like Messiah said, Yeshua, he said, I didn't come to be served, but to serve.
Yes. Yes.
And when you're serving, wait a minute, sis. I'm sorry. When you're serving others, you are rendering assistance not only to the weak or the needy, but you are standing in the gap.
Yes.
You are the right arm. You're aiding whoever in the body. You are giving discernment to know what the body needs, and Yah will give you unction to assist them in whatever they need. So it's like you're managing. You are a manager of the body of the Messiah when you are working in the gifts of help.
And they are important.
Yes, it is. And you're devoting your time to help others perfect their gift.
No, guess what? If you're watching a movie or a play, that movie that you so-called enjoy would not have went off without a hitch if they didn't have the directors and all the people, the costume, everybody that was behind the scenes preparing it and putting it together. You're just seeing the outcome, all of the work that went into it. Just like when people see the teachers that's on here, and people always say, do you know what all the work that went into this? By the time we presented to you how much work has been done behind the scene? You seeing Cinderella, but you don't know what was going on behind the scene with the ugly stepsisters.
Yes.
Can I go on to the next?
Yes, sis. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, so now we're getting ready to look at some examples of the gifts of help in action. So the first precept is Romans 16, 1-4. I commend unto you, Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the congregation, which is in Concentria. Concentria. Welcome her in our master as one who is worthy of honor among Yah's people.
Say that part again. Say that again, please.
Yes. Welcome her in honoring, welcome her in our master as one who is worthy of honor among Yah's people. And see, there we go with the scripture. To give more honor to bring, Paul has commended her to bring an honor to her for her tremendous help. I'm going to read on. Help her in whatever she needs, for she has been helpful to many, especially me, for she has been a succor, a rescuer, a savior in my times of need or in distress. So she was in his times of need. Many am of myself. So we see here Paul is commending Phoebe for her helps that she has given not only to him, but many within the body of the Messiah at that time. Verse 3. Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Yeshua, who have laid their life down for my own. So they laid their life down for him. And so he's now giving them thanks, unto whom not only I give thanks, So not only is he giving thanks, but also the congregation of the Gentiles. So they are thanking Priscilla and Aquila for the helps that they have within the body of the Messiah.
Yeah. And then women.
Acts 9:36. Now therefore in Joppa, a disciple named Tabitha, which translated means decorous. She was full of good works and acts of charity. She was generous. She was giving. She helped the needy and the weak. This is what this is saying.
And they call her a disciple.
Yes.
Okay.
A disciple.
A
Yes.
disciple, because they say it's only men. We are disciples and we're not men.
Yes.
I don't know where this whole thing started, but this hatred that's towards our women from the men in Israel, it has to stop, because that spirit is not of Yah.
Yes, it is. It's not of Yah. And so if anyone has possession and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of Yah be in this person?
And I say material possessions.
Yes, material possessions. So what if you see the homeless, or you see some orphan or a widow,
or someone you know, your
someone you know that's in need, you don't just pass them by or say I pray for you, or just overlook them. No, you are supposed to help them as you have need to help them. Otherwise, when you disregard your brother or your sister's need out of selfishness, then you don't have the love of Yah in you.
No.
And this is, like Yeshua said, when you did the teaching on friendship of your friends, who, your friends, your associates, your brother, you lay your life down for them. You give them the means that within the means you have, you support them.
But
if
even
I
with that,
I don't just think it's gonna resolve of itself, especially if we in the body of the Messiah. A true friend is going to help you in need when you need it, whether they have a little or a lot.
They'll give you what they have. Even with this one, a woman, she gave all that she had. She gave her last, and he said, truly, this woman has given more than all of you, because she didn't have nothing, and all she had, she gave to him. Oftentimes we think, well, I'm saving up for this, I'm saving up for material things, but yet your brother has a need, immediate need. They may not have food, you know what I'm saying? They may have food, and you're trying to save up for something earthly and carnal. And you see that they really have an immediate need. And some times we want to save up, and there's nothing wrong with saving money and saving up, but saving up these things that he says that robbers can come in and get, and then moth can come and destroy. We give more attention and care to these things that are earthly. But, and it's been times where someone may have a need, and I may not have all of what they may need, but I give them what I can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But if your brother and sister have a need, and you look past them, he says, how can the love of Yah be in you? It can't be in you. Because there's no way. I've known people that, I'm not giving them names, who have had the means to help a brother or sister. Literally, they're getting ready to get put out, and they over here talking about, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. I can't give you it. I'm like, this person is getting ready to get set out on the street and not have a roof over their head, and you talking about you going on vacation? So that's not the love of Yah.
Yes, and that's why he said, dear children, let us not love with words or speech. Just saying I love you is not enough.
But I'm on the street with a knapsack.
Exactly. But in action and in truth. So when you see that need, you give accordingly.
Yes. And that's why with the body, that's what the tithes were for. There we said there was not one among them that had a need. Everybody took care of everyone, and it wasn't all on one person to do it. If I had money and my rent was $1,000, it wasn't all on one person. If we are community and members, then everybody give a little bit. Maybe you got 50, maybe she got 50. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not all on one person.
Exactly.
We don't live in that kind of community of now. We are scattered, and we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
And everyone now is about themselves. So
Yeah.
So this is the part of the teaching where we're close to the end, and I'm gonna end this with the last 3 slides. So if you look here at the picture, you see that there are a number of different just in our everyday life, different careers, many different talents that Yah has given, and each person uses their talents to the best of their ability. You see the chef, someone who is a maid, someone who, you see a doctor, a business person, so many different gifts. And so 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and 13, and I'm reading the King James Version, says, "But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way." So I want to correct what we're reading here, because the King James Version does not, when you look at this, it is giving you the incorrect interpretation of 1 Corinthians 12 and 31. And because when you look at this, it says, "But covet earnestly the best gift." And then it turns around and says, "Yet show I unto you a more excellent way." So when you look at that, I don't know about you, Prina, but that confuses me, because it seems like you're saying.
Yes, it does. It is.
And then, so I wanted to just bring a little bit of clarity to that the word "yet," okay, that you see that's an adverb, okay, and "yet" means up until now, still, and I'm going to go more into it, but "yet" is an adverb. And so if you don't know what an adverb, Prina and I are teachers. My specialty is English. So I love this kind. I was happy to even do this part. But "yet" is an adverb, and an adverb, it does describe a noun, also an adjective, and sometimes it even describes another adverb, but it also modifies, or it can change an adverb as well. So an adverb tells us how a verb, or even an adjective, it can do an adjective too, because it describes an adverb. It can tell you how, where, how much, and then with what frequency or how often. So when it says, "But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet I show you a more excellent way," I want to kind of go over some other versions. We read the Hebrew Roots Bible because it brings so much clarity. And when I first read this King James, I'm like, I'm gonna put this here, but I'm gonna use this as a teaching point so that those who may have it can know the correct interpretation. So the source.com for "yet" says it means in spite of, it means still, meaning despite the fact, or up until now. So if anytime you're saying "but," or "still," or "yet," that means that there is a disagreement, something that has been said, or a belief, or an idea that has been presented that you feel that you may not agree. Okay, so you might say "yet," or "still," or "despite the fact," or "in spite of what you said." So, and then it says "up until now." Up until now, this denotes "yet," the adverb, where it tells you when. Okay, it tells you when. Remember, an adverb modifies or describes the verb. So it's saying when. So up until now, okay, this is what you're saying. Up until now, this may have been the case, but I'm going to show you a more excellent way. So the Blue Letter Bible for "yet" says the same thing. Besides, still, it says of a thing which went on formerly, something that went on formerly or before. It says whereas now a different state of thing exists or has begun to exist. So that which was is no longer more. Up until now means this was going on up until now. Now there's, like what they say, a new sheriff in town. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, 1 Corinthians 13 and 13 says, "And now faith, hope, and love. These 3 things remain." What 3 things remain? Faith, hope, and love. He says, "But the greatest of these is love." Precept to that, 1 Corinthians 14 and 1 says to do what? Pursue love and seek eagerly the spiritual things. So we're commanded to pursue love. He says there are three things that will remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest is love. And that's why we're commanded in 1 Corinthians 14:1 to pursue love and seek eagerly the spiritual things. So what is love as it is being spoken of in this context in 1 Corinthians 13:13 and 1 Corinthians 14:1? According to the Blue Letter Bible, love means charity. The source.com for charity is alms, assistance, service, and help. So you see this? So
Yes.
it's saying here that these three things will remain: faith, hope, and love. Love is charity. Charity is assistance. Assistance is service, and service is help. So help is the greatest of these things. That's why when I read earlier in the beginning of the teaching, and I read that again not too long ago in 1 Corinthians 12, chapter 22 and 23, he said, those of the body we think to be less honorable, to these we put more abundant honor around them. More abundant honor around them. Love is to be abundantly honored because it is the greatest. So clearly the KJV, King James Version, is not the correct interpretation because it's not interpreting it the way that it should. So I took it upon myself to do that. So again, the King James Version, 1 Corinthians 12:31 says, but covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. Look what the Hebrew Roots Bible is. This is the Bible that most of the time I'm reading from. The Hebrew Roots Bible says, because we have to read, remember, things that are written in Hebrew, it says that it has more force, more meaning. He says, but if you are searching after the greater gifts, he said, I will show you a more excellent way. That goes more perfectly what we read in 1 Corinthians 12, verses 22 and 23, where he says, but rather the members of the body seemingly that seem to be weaker, he says, are necessary. And those of the body that we think to be less honorable, he says we should put more honor around them. Yes. So you look at this. If you are searching, this is the correct interpretation according to the Hebrew Roots Bible. It reads differently. He says, but if you are searching after the greater gifts, because Prina talked about this earlier, everybody want to be a prophet. Everybody said, but if we all want to be the eyes, he said, what will be the hearing? Yeah. If everybody want to be the hearing, according to 1 Corinthians 12:17, where will be the smelling? He said, if you are searching after the greater gifts, he said, I'm going to show you a more excellent way. The Aramaic Bible says, if you are zealous for greater gifts, he says, I again, meaning yet, he said, I will show you a better way. Yah's word translation says, you only want the better gifts. He says, but that means yet, I will show you the best thing to do. This makes much more sense, yes, clearer than the way the King James Version, because the King James Version is contradicting itself. 1 Corinthians 13:13 again. Now faith, hope, and love. These three things remain, but the greatest of these is love. Therefore, pursue love and seek eagerly the spiritual things. So this is what Paul is saying. If you searching for the greater gifts, I will show you a more excellent way. If you are zealous for the greater gifts, I will show you a more excellent way. If you want the better gifts, I will show you the best thing to do. You want the more excellent way is the thing that is least desired. That the gifts that people think are less honorable, he's saying, I'm going to show you a more excellent way. That means love. Yeah. Talking about helps. Even what he told it by faith, Abel offered unto Yah a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. Why? Because Yah approved of his gifts. Love. And so the parable of the talents, we all know this story, okay? He had given talents to men, and he left. And when he came back, there was one who hid his talents, the gifts that he had given them, in the earth. And so Matthew 25 verses 14 and 15 reads, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. To every man, as Prina said, according to his capabilities.
Yes.
And straightway took his journey." Blue Letter Bible for talents, because he said he gave 1 talent, someone else got 2, someone else got 1. Talent is that which is to be weighed. That's why I have it highlighted. Talent is that which is to be weighed. When you're weighing something, you're measuring something. The source.com for weigh is graded. If I'm a teacher and I'm instructing and I'm giving the kids information, okay, and I expect when I come back to assess them that they have something for me, that I'm going to get something in return for all the work and the effort, all this teaching that I've done all year. At the end of the year, you're going to get a grade, whether pass or fail. I do not expect for you to play around the whole year and then you fail my class because you haven't done what you were supposed to do. You had all the information, that everything that you needed given to you, but you didn't do anything with it. So the source.com says that to weigh is to grade. It is to, as I said, to measure, to evaluate, to assess, and to make a determination. The opposite is to neglect and to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at this? So we've been talking about helps on one end as far as being compassionate and helping and assisting and all of these things, but also there's the other side when he gives you talents. He gives you these spiritual gifts. They are not to be hidden. They are not to be covered, because he is going to weigh. To whom much is given, much is required. Are you understanding that? He's not expecting for you to waste the gifts that he has given to you. We are supposed to use the gifts that he has given to us. Many of us are not operating in our gifts. We haven't prayed and fasted about it. We're sitting around doing nothing. You have to be active. He is expecting for us. There are many members of one body. The harvest is plenty, but he said the workers are few. So he's not expecting that he gives you these gifts and then you sit on them and squander them and do nothing. This is called neglecting and ignoring. And it is a pass or fail. So I want to read a precept. Matthew 25:26. His master answered and said unto him, and this is Yeshua. He comes back. He gave him talents. He hadn't done anything with it. Look how the master, which is representative of our Messiah, the master said to him, "You wicked and lazy servant." He called him wicked and lazy. He called him wicked and lazy. He said that this is wicked. I give you gifts, and this is what you do. You sit around and do nothing. You watching the sheep going to slaughter. You're not warning the people. The blood is going to be on your hands. He said, "You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I did not sow and gather where I have not scattered seed. I gave this to you. You knew that I wasn't the one out here that was going to do this work. I gave this charge to you, like shared leadership. I gave this to you. I put this in your hands." He says, then if you weren't going to do nothing with it, in verse 27, he said, you should have gave me my money back. You shouldn't have, if you wasn't going to do nothing with it, he said, then I would have, on my return, he said, I would have given it to somebody else. I would have deposited this money and given it to someone else, and they would have done it. He said, I could have got interest on it. They could have bore more fruit than to waste it. So you remember, y'all got mad when the man spilled his sperm on the earth.
Yeah.
Wasting it. We know that he is not for wasting.
Mm-hmm.
He is not wasting. Remember with the feast, when you eat it in haste and don't leave none left over. Don't leave none. So whatever he gives you the ability to do, you are capable of doing it. If he gives you the gift, he's going to provide you with the capability. Don't say, I can't do this. The devil is a liar. You listening to Satan. If he's giving you the gift, you can do it. Many of us, it's about the effort, and just like he said, it's laziness. Plain and simple. This walk is not going to be easy. It's not. People look at the finished product and they think, oh, this, I can do this. Not too many people can. Do you know how many hours is spent doing this? By the time you see these teaching, do you know how many hours? Ask my son how long I'm sitting at this table. It's a lot. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I work, and I'm doing this. It's a lot. So whatever it is that he gives you to do, whatever he calls you to do, he will give you the ability. You are capable of doing whatever he has called you to do. You have to know that. What it says, what has been entrusted to you is a reflection of your capability, your capacity. You're able to do whatever he has called you to do. He's called you to do it. Do you not trust that he's going to give you everything you need to do it? When I first came into this truth, I was making all kinds of excuses when he called me to teach. Because he called me to teach like 3 years after. I poured myself into scripture for like 3 years. And then he called me to teach. And I was like Moses, oh, I don't do this well. And I don't know how much, I'm like, how am I going to be able to teach this great nation, your people, like how Solomon prayed? And yes, and I don't remember the exact scripture, but I remember what it says, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, you know, do you not trust me? Haven't I counseled you? Haven't I counseled you and given you the certainty and truth that you may teach the truth to those that I sent to you? Don't you trust me? You're trusting in your own ability. You're not trusting in the spiritual gift that I put in you. It's not you doing the work. That's why Yeshua said, everything I do, I'm not doing on my own will. I don't speak on my own will. I don't talk on my own will. Whatever I do is whatever he told me to do. He does nothing, he says, on his own. You have to believe that as well. Anything he has called you to do, he's giving you the ability to do, and you are capable of doing it. You have to get out of your own way and know that you are just a vessel that he is using to work in you. He's working in and through you. Yeshua was doing all of the work. There was nothing created that he hadn't created. But who was in him in the beginning? Who was in him?
Yeah. The Spirit of God.
That's what he says. What did he say? What did he say in John? Let me read it right quick, because we're at the end now. Let me read this right quick. We haven't been long with you all today. You can wait another second. Let me read this. John 1:1. In the beginning was a word, and the word was with Yah, and the word was Yah. And he was in the beginning with Yah. Everything existed through his hands. And without him, not even one thing existed of the thing which have existed. He was there doing all of the creating in the beginning. He was the vessel. He was the word in the beginning. When Yah said, let there be light, he spoke it. And it was so. Who is not Yeshua the word? The word was there in the beginning. His word has always been here. When he spoke, the word performed. He says that his word performed everything. Everything that has left out of his mouth, his word performs it. I don't have that scripture offhand. But if you know the word, you know where I'm going. Everything that's come out of his mouth, every promise, everything he has spoken, he said it will perform everything that I've commanded it to do. So if he has spoken over your life and has called you to do something, he's giving you the ability to do it. You are able and you are capable.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the enemy get in the way of you doing, because he said it's considered wicked. Look there, you wicked and lazy servant. Matthew 25:29, for whoever has he said, whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. So he's like, I'm gonna take away from you. Yeah. I gave you these talents. I come back, you ain't got nothing. Look, I'm taking whatever you think you got. I'm taking that. I'm gonna take that away. So what's the gist of this? Use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. So I'm taking this time to plug in again.
Well, before you do that, can I just mention something too that came in to my spirit, sis? John 14:18, Yeshua is telling his disciples before he departed crucified, that he will not leave us as orphans, but he would send us a comforter, the helper of the set apart spirit. Yes. And he said that if you keep his commandments, and that's showing him that you love him, that he will manifest his spirit. That means he would that means that he will reveal himself to you. Yes. And I just want to mention, this is in John 14:18, that that when before he was crucified, he told his disciples, he said, I'm not going to leave you as orphans. No. I will come to you. I will leave you a helper, the Ruach, the spirit of truth. And it's going to bring back to memories the things that I have taught to you and I have said to you. His peace is what he will give to them. And so I just wanted to, which is the spirit of the comforter, the set apart spirit. I just wanted to add it to that so that people can see that, it's not of your capability. It's the spirit that's within you. And then we have to walk in that and know that.
Yes. Thank you for that. That was right there on time. So just plugging in again, this is my new channel. We still are doing the weekly Sabbath teachings, like what you're seeing right now via the Sword of the Spirit on Daughter of Yah channel. But this is a second channel. It's a parent channel of the Daughter of Yah channel. It's called it's the Yah Talks channel. Mm-hmm. And it's on YouTube. And so if you look there on the screen, I would love for you to subscribe, share, and make sure you hit the notification button so that you don't miss any of the teachings. But Yah Talk, if you've heard of TED Talk, then this is Yah Talk. And this is, Yah stands for Yahweh Application and Help. And it's a channel where this is me, Shatan, just my new channel where I'll be sharing practical online videos to support Yahweh application and health wellness. That could be physical, mental, or spiritual. So on this channel, any of the length of the videos will be anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And it's where I'll be sharing online videos for those things that are of the spiritual wellness. So it could be Yahweh application, that which is of Yah, which is of the spiritual, or the mental, or the physical. So it may be products that I may be sharing that can be good for our physical health, physical body, and then also for the mental as well, our mental wellness. So it's going to be a variety of topics, almost like a blog / mini teaching type of things, Yah Talk. So it's kind of just put you in the mind. If you've seen TED Talks, it's kind of in the same way, but it's focused on Yah, on Yali application, things that will help us not only spiritually, but mental and physical as well. So we'll be sharing things that we feel that will be, if we get like notification or information on things that we may have to come and warn you about certain products, you may see me come on and share them that way. And so it's just going to be more wellness type channel. And so it's, and sometimes Prina may even be on there, but it's my channel and it's on YouTube. So if you would go and subscribe today and share it, this will be great, especially for those in the faith. Again, the name, as you see on the screen, is Yah Talks channel. It's on YouTube. And if you have any questions, you can email me at yahtalkchannel@gmail.com. So I just wanted to plug that channel. And so we are at the end. We want to thank you for joining us today. Prina, thank you for this excellent lesson on helping us to unwrap.
Yes.
Helps. And anything you want to add before you lead us out with a reading?
Yes, I just want to just add that, don't look to what other people's gifts are. We have to come away from that. Just walk in whatever Yah has given to you, whether it's one gift, two gifts, or multiple gifts. Whatever he has given to you, you have to operate it as he has charged you or command you to walk in. And you have to remember, it's no gift that's less on the total.
Yes.
We are all for the edifying. We are all here to encourage, and we are all here to comfort, whatever, and the gifts and the gifts with you are given. So stop looking and coveting and wanting to be prophetess and
the names, and stay away from all these titles.
Yes, and boast yourself up.
We want to be caught up in the titles and calling ourselves prophetess and pastor this and pastor. Nobody in the scriptures that walked around calling themselves all of these titles. They didn't. They said that I'm just your brother. When you look in there, they said, don't worship me, I'm just your brother. They called themselves brother.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm your brother. I'm your brother. You see all throughout scripture, nobody is going around calling themselves by the gift. That's just a gift. That's a gift that you're operating under. That's not a title for you to use to be puffed up and to boast and to draw men unto yourself, because it begins to be full of pride and ego that comes forth. I've been around people, they won't talk to you unless you calling them prophet such and such, or pastor such and such, or reverend such and such. I don't reverence any man. If you're a pastor, that's just a gift. I don't have to call you a pastor. Just operate in what he's called you to do. Yeah. You're a prophet. I don't have to call you prophet such and such, or all these new things, super prophet and spiritual prophet. I'm like, where y'all getting this from? All of it is, no gift is greater. And don't look at any of them as least desirable. Yes. So
and our gifts are to edify Yah and bring high esteem to Yah, and not to ourselves. And I'm going to end out with 1 Chronicles 29, verses 10 through 13 and 18. And David blessed Yah before the eyes of all the congregation. And David said, blessed are you, O Yah, the power of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. To you, O Yah, be the greatness and the power and the high esteem and the victory and the majesty. For all in the heavens and the earth belongs to you, O Yah. Yours is the kingdom, and you lift up yourself to all as head. And the riches and the honor come before you, and you rule over all. And in your hand is power and might, and it is in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. And now our power, we are giving thanks to you and giving praise to your high esteemed name. O Yah, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers. Keep this forever for the intent of the thoughts of the heart of your people, and prepare their heart toward you. In Yeshua's name, so be it.
Yeshua's name, so be it. So once again, we want to thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sabbath. We ask that you would share this beautiful teaching. And make sure you subscribe if you have not done so to our channel, via the Daughter of Yah channels for more Sword of the Spirit audio teachings and webinars. And we just thank you for joining us on today. And Yah willing, we will be back on next Sabbath. Yas will, I will be speaking on the Sabbath, how we are to honor and keep the Sabbath, and to kind of go into some things that I've been seeing within the body that we need to refrain from. We need to make sure that we're reverencing and honoring the Father the way that He has truly told us to do. And so Yah willing, that will be next Sabbath topic. So we thank you and give you all praise, honor in Yeshua's name. So be it.
So be it.
Shabbat shalom.